What's good, YouTube? RunXY Joe here to display and showcase our replays and performance in this tournament, Factory Cup. I personally love Factory Cup because Factory Cup does Swiss, and you're basically guaranteed to do a lot of games, and it was very fun. So Factory Cup, I totally recommend you guys check them out. I'll link their Discord in the description. We ended up placing 23rd, I believe. Yes, we made it here in 23rd place, in a group of, I believe, 80 people. And yes, we went 3 and 4. It was pretty difficult, but we lost the first round, or lost the first 2 rounds here, and then we actually got a free dub. And then the 4th round, we also won that. It was a close one. And then 5th round, we won that. It was also a pretty fun round. And then we just dropped the ball and lost the rest. They were all close games. So back to the deck, we used Snake Eye Fiendsmith to do the tournament, and it went really well. Unfortunately, we had some bricks, but that's just drawing too many non-engine because of that. This deck is very consistent at what it does, which is just to do 1-card combos with Snake Eyes, all the way ending up to with a Omni Negate and Apollosa or so. But I'd like to just jump to the replays. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go. So I will mainly be going over duels that I've won and my playthrough through it. Now, respect to the people that I dueled, they were really good. And again, I didn't do too hot. I went 3 and 4. But just showing off my mind, and hopefully people will learn with how I play Snake Eye Fiendsmith this way. So our hand, we're fighting Rika, and I believe this is game 2 or round 2. I lost the first round, and ultimately end up losing the whole series. But this was a pretty good hand, and just to show how resilient it could play. So our hand is pretty much gas with protection. We already have starter for Snake Eyes, and we have enough to go into full Fiendsmith combo here. And this is fodder really for 1-for-1, and we have protection with Call by the Grave. First things first, what I like to do is I like to use engravers first to try to beat out anything. So at the time, I didn't know what they had in their hand, so I just used engraver to get track to get Lurie, Lurie to get discarded, Lurie to get special summon from being discarded. They try to Max C here. Now we have protection for that at all costs. We're gonna use Call by the Grave for Max C so they can't draw for advantage. And it's negated. So we get Lurie. Lurie gets tributed for Requiem. Requiem tributes itself for the second Fiendsmith. Then the engraver sends that graveyard effect to special summon it. To then go into sequence, link summoning, to summon into Lacrima. Lacrima will now get the second graver. Instead of adding it to our hand, we special summon it to go into DD Wave High King Caesar. Now the reason we go into this, we sided this card. And just sharing that, the reason we sided this is because we're going first, and I knew this deck can spam special summon, so I wanted to try to stop them as much as possible. Typically, we would go into Beatrice here, but the thing is with Beatrice, we already have 1-for-1 in our hand. There's no point to go into Beatrice at this point, because this is an example that Beatrice is not useful here just because we have 1-for-1. This is kind of a situational play here. So going into it, we 1-for-1 our Mulcharmies because it's a dead card. We get Ash, normal stuff. Ash gets Poplar. Poplar gets special from being added to hand. That brings our Field Spell. Field Spell will typically set Diabellstar. We link Poplar to Link Karibo to send Poplar to the Spell and Trap to use its effect. So Ash to get Oak, Oak to get Ash. Then special summon Poplar to special Diabellstar. We're going a little bit different here just because we didn't start with Snake Eyes as the starter. We then use Oak's effect to send Poplar a second time to go into Flamberge. Link all 4, go into Appaloosa to have a 4 negate with Flamberge to 10 special. This probably wasn't the most optimal way to play because, again, I was kind of panicked and stressed just because we had to play a different route. High King Caesar, I'm not used to these plays. But Promethean Princess here will now grab us Flamberge. Flamberge to send that down, and we end phase here. Now, as weird as this sounds to do this, it's just because we couldn't go into IP and use these 2 cards as fodder, and we needed our materials still. So, we misplayed a bit. But still, our opponent goes. They normal summon their starter, I believe, and they go into Python. I tried to special summon, but they make us neg 1 by using Called by the Grave here. Unfortunately, doing this with Typhon will make our Appaloosa weaker. They attack our High King, so we're gonna use its effect. We use Lacrimata Burn. Not looking good now, because we lost all our negates here, or interruptions here. But we still have Engraver to follow up. Special summon. And we use Bellstar's effect to get Deception. Deception to attribute itself to her Hollowed Azamina. Hollowed to then Moo Rusialago. Moo to get Wanted. We got Swing at this point to get that off the field. Attack and attack. And they're pretty low. We get Oak for follow-up when we try to special summon. Now we go back into sequence. Now, I honestly don't even know I went to sequence. I thought I could try to use its effect, but the thing is we don't have enough fiends. So we send Moo back to get a Omni Negate by chaining Wanted. You want to do that so you send Wanted for free. Now we have a Omni Negate. And trying to draw one to get a hand trap or so. We draw the same card, we go to Moon of Closed Heavens and use the effect of Flamberge to get Ash and Poplar to summon back Appaloosa with 2400, so that's 3 negates. And then we have follow-up with Flamberge and Oak. So with this, we have 3 monster negates, 1 Omni negate, and Princess. 5 interruptions with their 3 cards in their hand. I tried to negate, so instead, I'm so sorry, it's 4. Sorry, 3. They then use Ultra Kuvalos, and I tried to negate that. I tried to negate that, now it's at 0, and they scoop. It was a hard game against this deck. I'm not too familiar with how Rika works, but they can spam pretty strong. Now, round 4 in Swiss, we believe we win the point flip here. And we're fighting a Infernoble deck, fire deck. And our hand is god awful going first right now. I was not happy drawing this hand. It was better going second, to be honest, but 2 Called by the Graves, it wouldn't work here unless we had a starter. We set 3, we pass, and we cry. That sucked, but it actually worked. They used Fighting Flame Sword, and I guess that was a good negate because when they normal, they just attacked. And they ended. Now I was praying to God to get a starter, like 1 for 1 or Ash, please. And I get Sinful Spoils. Even worse is I can't even use it. Or can I? Yes, I can. My mistake. With original Sinful getting negated here, I thought it was over, but thankfully these 2 Called by the Graves really helped out here. Negated that, get Ash, and we finally can start playing. So Ash to Poplar, Poplar to get Field Spell to get Bellstar. They flip. This is where we need to play a little bit different because Ash is now set face down because of this Book of Moon effect. Poplar gets sent there. We use the effect to bring the Bellstar, and then also go into Doom Dragon. Thanks for being so useful, Doom Dragon, because then we pop their equips. We go into Moon of Close Heaven, opening up our Fiendsmith engine. Requiem Tribute, Graver. That's the important one. We use Link Karibo's effect. You can use it when it's set face down. That is very important because that makes Snake Eye Ash be online again. Because it was set. You can't really do anything with the set card, that's why. So then we link into sequence to send the 2 for Lacrima to add to hand, or special, my mistake, and this was enough for game 8400. Going first, really drawing from a dead hand, that Ash stopped them with this play here, and Doom Dragon really helped us out by, giving enough for lethal here. We attack, and that was all said and done. Let's go. That was game 1, going first. Now, game 3, I believe we're going first just because we lost the second round. I was unable to get that recording anyways, but we win this round, game 3. So for the 4th round, our hand, it looks okay. You could either get Wanted. We have protection with Called By here, so getting Wanted should be free. We start off by getting Wanted to get Bellstar. I believe they don't roll unlock here, so use the effect of Bellstar. They Veiler that. It's not looking good there that they Veilered that, but we have original Sinful spoil stuff. So we use original Sinful Tribute to get Ash. And normal stuff again, Ash to Poplar to get special from hand, Divine Temple to get added, Divine Temple to set, Banish to try to draw something nice. We get Engraver, which is pretty good. Going to Link Karibo here to send Poplar back to the back row. They Phantasme us for that. We then use the effect of Poplar to get special because they use Phantasme. Now we're trying to open up some Fiendsmith stuff, but they then roll and lock, so we Call by the Grave that. So at this point, it's looking strong now, because we normal summon our Droll and Lock. We don't use our normal summon for an extra body. Fable Lurie. We use Ash to send those 2 to get Oak to get Ash. Go into Requiem here. Requiem to get the second copy. Requiem to attach. Oak to send. Going to Flamberge. Going to Sequence. Sequence will then use all 3 to go into Desiree. Link to go to Promethean. Attach Sequence and then use effect to send that to the extra deck. Special summon Bellstar effect. We use those 2 to go into, or to negate it, to go into a 4 Link Apollosa with the effect of Flamberge to special. Then Link away into Moon of Close Heaven. I honestly don't know why I did that. I didn't even know why I didn't even get IP here. Yeah, I don't think I could have. That's why. But here we have 4 monster negates, 2 field negates, and princess. So that's 7 disruptions there. With 3 cards or 4 cards in their hand now, normal summon. I negate that. They try to add, so I want to negate that. Rhoda. They don't special that, so I try to pop them and also take away their own Phantasme. Because getting Poplar wouldn't have mattered. And they quit. And that's how we won round 4 against Infernoble. This is the last and final round against in the tournament until we just lose everything else. And now this is against Salads, and Salads was pretty strong. I believe I went first, and our hand is kind of ideal going second with Droll, but yes, we send Valor here in my mind because Valor's I value Droll and Lock more here against one Valor on their turn. That's why, because maybe I could stop them from searching. So we die a Bellstar here, and I believe nothing popped up red at the time, so I felt pretty good. So I sent Droll and Lock for Hollowed. Hollowed to go for Moo. Moo to get Original Sinful. We link into Moon of Close Heaven to go into our Fiendsmith plays, but before we do that, we wanted to put Moo Rusialago as quick as we can back to the extra deck because we summoned 3 times, and this is going to be the 4th summon, so we're nib proof here. So we protect ourselves from nib here. That's our 4th summon, that's why. And we use Original Sinful to send back Diabellstar to get Ash, and we now have full combo with the Ash. Poplar to get Field Spell, drop Diabellstar, we link the Requiem here, we also link it to Link Karibo here, sending that to the back row, Engraver to attach to use the effect to Oak to get Ash, Link into Sequence here, go into Lacrima here, Lacrima to add Engraver to send Engraver to go into Track, and Track into Lurie. Lurie gets sent to the grave to Special. Then we just link into IP early here. We want to get Lurie back into the grave to Special Summon with the Graveyard effect of Engraver to use Track's effect to go into Desiree. Effective Lacrima to burn. Oak to send Poplar for Flamberge. And then I had to use, unfortunately, Promethean this way. I usually like using IP for Apollosa, but it is what it is. Special Summon. But this time we'll get 4 Apollosa negates. With this interruptions, we have 4 monster negates, 2 field negates, IP to SP, Promethean, an Omni negate, and Ash Blossom. So that's 11 negates here for them to deal with. So they tried to Salamangreat circle, and we just Ash Blossom that. They try to call by the grave here, so I believe I have to use Azamina to chain that. We just don't want them to use it. I negate that. They use Signet Mining, so they had 2 cards in their hand, so I knew I should just negate that. And they scoop. So that was game 1 against Salads, and we practically had a free field day there. So we chose to go first because this is the 3rd round now, and yeah, we had a tough time when they went first because they comboed crazily, and our hand is pretty good actually, very good. because bonfire is protections with called by, and I have talents, and I have starter here. First thing I do. Unfortunately, this is where I messed up. Someone mentioned it, and I'm trying to teach you guys. If you have talents, you might just go to main phase 1. Don't do what I did here, because now, if they do something, I could have already had talents online at this point, but my lack of knowledge in the game, I mess up. But we get a hand trap there, and we still have full combo here, so I use deception here, sending Diabell starter, get hollowed Azumina, get Moo to get original sinful, sending that back to try to draw something good, but then they finally use DD Crow. This is the whole point of this, is to stop, to get bonfire to go off for free. This is probably the #1 card you want to go for free, and since we have talents now, we get to see their hands. That's why we value talents so much. So we grab that Terror Top, because I chose that between the 3 of these just because I thought to myself, Apollosa, I can negate that, but I can't negate a free special summon, then they would be able to still normal summon. So now, knowing that they have nothing, we go into normal Ash stuff, or Snake Eye stuff, Poplar, special, field spell, Diabell Star, Link Karibo, set to back row, Poplar, Ash, Oak to Ash, Link to Close Heavens to Requiem to Engraver attach, use Oak's effect with the Requiem, Flamberge, Fiendsmith sequence to send it to for Lacrima to add to hand Engraver to send to the graveyard to get track to get Lurie to send to the grave, effective Lurie to get special, Link away into IP, effective Flamberge, sequence here to grab back Engraver, then use track to get Desiree, Lacrima there, sequence to be attached, Diabell Star there, we link 3 into Promethean to get Flamberge, effect to negate, and we link those 2 into a protected IP Apollosa. Also grabbing Hollowed to tribute original Sinful to get Azumina. And then setting IP for next turn. So this is our textbook play of how we typically want to play this deck. We have 2 monster negates with Apollosa, 2 field negates with Desiree, 1 Omni negate with Sylvia, IP to SP, that's 7, and plus Promethean for 8. That is 8 interruptions with 2 cards that we already have hand knowledge. They unfortunately get Terror Top still again, so I negate there. I use the effect and change Flamberge to special IP. Negate. Now if they try to swing at it, that's when I would just go into SP, but we get to finally use the final negate of Apollosa to have it 0 attack. So if they try to swing here, I would just go into Little Knight to banish, so they can't try to link away, and they scoop there. We still had a lot of plays there, but that was it. Now for fun games, we're playing ranked games. These are ranked games. And we go first, and our hand is pretty okay. Almost kind of dead if this gets negated, but thankfully we have called by here. We get tracked here to get Lurie. We can't do much with Lurie, to be honest. Because you need an extra body. And a small Charmies there. So I call by the grave there to be honest. Yeah, that was still a good play. Deception came in clutch here because we honestly can't even do too much here. Going to Requiem here. Requiem to get our second engraver. Engraver to get our second engraver. Or Requiem to get our second engraver. On the sequence. Sequence to send the 2 back for Lacrima. Lacrima to special because we used Tract already. Just link rank 6 into our Snake Eyes option. So this is a textbook playstyle of how to go from Fiendsmith into Snake Eyes. To get Princess first for 1200 and then Princess for Ash. Ash to Poplar. Poplar to get special. Special to get Divine Temple. Divine Temple to get Bellstar. Ash. Sending. Important to send Princess so we're no longer firelocked. Go into Linkuriboh here. This is where we misplayed a little. We should have kept Poplar's effect for Flamberge. But either way, we get rid of it to go into Flamberge. Putting Beatrice down there. On the IP here. Effect of those 2. And now we have full 4 Apollosa here. So we have 4 negates here. IP to SP. Princess. That's 7. Maxi and Nib. So that's 9 interruptions there. So it worked out. I shotgun Maxi there. They called by the grave that. But they instead, I'm surprised, called by the grave Princess. But unfortunately they have their outs and they do cross out with Maxi. So I thought, ooh, this is not looking good. But yeah, they have 3 cards left in their hand. Negating our Maxi. They go into die Bellstar here. Use the effect, so I try to negate that. Now they have a chance to swing at me. So we use the effect because it gave us the option that they're gonna go into battle phase. To banish. 1 card left, they have Bonfire. Not looking good. I was honestly scared, like, uh-oh. So we do our best to still play with Divine Temple. They normal summon Ash. So it's a mirror match here. They get Poplar. Poplar to be added, but we're gonna negate there. They get Original Sinful. They try to use that to send Poplar to get Oak. Oak to... Then, this is it. I knew we have the Nib here because they were gonna go for Flamberge and go for more extenders. But if we Nib here, they shouldn't be able to extend. So I thought to myself. So I sent the rock at their face. My own Flamberge comes. Oak and Poplar, and then Oak. Now add I can add Original Sinful of my own, and then Oak to get Ash, and they quit there. Really great example of how Nib can save you there. Really stressful game here. We go first, and we're fighting stun, and our hand is really good to go full Fiendsmith into Snake Eyes. So we tracked Engraver. Now we sent Engraver. If you're wondering why, it's because we don't have a normal summon anyways. We can have the second Engraver's effect to send to use its graveyard effect, and we can get in rotation a second Engraver. This is why this is kind of important to do it this way, because if I did it the other way, I wouldn't have been able to get the second Engraver to the graveyard. It would be in my hand and I wouldn't be able to summon here. So we go into sequence here. Going into Lacrima. Same as the last game. Going into Beatrice. Beatrice to send for Ash. Link for Promethean's effect. Then to get Poplar. Poplar to get Field. Field to get Diabell Star. Sending. Now this is the important part. I did not send Poplar like last time. Now this is important because you'll see the difference in this play when we get Flamberge out. We'll actually just bring Beatrice here because we knew we're not gonna use Flamberge's effect this turn that if in with IP. So we go into Apollosa here. Chain 2 with Poplar to send Flamberge for follow-up, plus Flamberge's effect to special 2. Link into IP, and we can end here. So this hand we have 4 monster negates, IP to SP, Princess, that's 8, and 2 hand traps, that's 10, plus talents. I was hoping they would use a, monster effect, but they do not. They summon Barrier, trying to attack, and unfortunately it goes through. And then they set 3 cards pass. I was really scared playing into it. They play Goes in match here, which stuns us. So I just go into battle phase and attack. So as a fault of mine, they just pass, thinking they don't have anything. Thought it would be okay to normal summon a Molcharmies just to get some chip damage, because the longer the game goes, the worse it's gonna get. But this was my own demise for doing this, but thankfully it works out. 1300 attack. Okay. Then I saw Super Poly, Necro Valley, and the Barrier statue. They get Super Poly, and now I knew I was here. But we have resilience in this deck. I'm so thankful we drew this way. They Super Poly us by discarding 1. We get Mud Dragon, so I can't target it now. Special summon Flamberge from that. They choose Fire, so I can't target it. I Talents because they used that. And then they Book of Eclipse us. So Talents was to steal their own monster because it doesn't target. It just yanks your monster. Or the opponent's monster. But we can still take it. I took it. Engraver to send back Lacrima. I'm trying to go for a game and attack. They Book of Moon us. So I thought, oh no, what am I gonna do here? Thankfully, Deception's still online. We send their own, and they quit. Pretty close game. That was pretty fun. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that Snake Eyes Fiendsmith tournament, making top 23. Yeah, it was super fun. I hope to be playing soon White Forest as Amina Pure. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Snake Eyes Fiendsmith. It's really strong. It's the most represented deck right now. These are really great examples, and how I hope some of you guys can learn some plays from watching these replays. Yes, tune in to the next video. Thank you guys so much for your time. Take care, guys.